Coming up next on Newswatch at noon, flood damage has caused problems to the bike path near Columbus Road. Find out the city's plan to fix the path and prevent future damage.
Students will be participating in a traveling fashion show that calls awareness to the growing problem of human trafficking. Get a behind-the-scenes look at what to expect in tonight's powerful show.
And in sports, making the transition from high school to college can be difficult for athletes who don't make college teams. We'll tell you about what they do to stay in the game. Newswatch at noon starts now. Athens is still recovering from heavy flooding from 2 weeks ago. Good afternoon, I'm Anna Hoffman.
And I'm Lucas Moore. Particularly hard hit was the bike path. Right now, areas of it are falling into the river.
But as Newswatch at Noon reporter Matt Lackeritz tells us, work is underway to get bikers back on the right path.
Falling apart. It's the only way to describe what's happened to the section of the bike path near Columbus Road. Work began early yesterday to repair the damage. While many are happy the path is being fixed right away, they're also upset that it was damaged so soon after it was completed.
It's been really frustrating because I know they put a lot of time and funding into it, and then for it to get washed away not even 6 months after it was built, that's devastating.
Athens City Engineer Andy Stone says this time the city will use concrete in an effort to prevent such damage in the future.
We have to harden the path so that when the river goes up again, because it will, it's not a question of if but when, that the same damage doesn't occur.
It's being advised that people avoid the bike path near Columbus Road as they're expecting it to take roughly 2 months until the area is fixed.
Stone says the goal is to complete the construction for under $100,000 and make sure the path is safe. The path may be blocked off, but that isn't stopping some from trying to make it through anyway. Reporting for Newswatch at noon, I'm Matt Lackeritz.
Thanks, Matt. This portion of the path will be blocked off until the construction is complete. To see how the city plans to save money on those repairs, check out woub.org. You may be seeing new and improved trails on a camp near Roten in the near future. Last night, Athens City Council members discussed allowing Mayor Patterson to apply for the Nature's Grant to repair parts of the Camp Roten. The grant through the Ohio Department of Natural Resources is given to cities to rehabilitate recreational land. The priority of the project will be to repair the trails, a water line, and shed a parking lot.
Athens County Commissioners heard more this morning about a possible $1 million grant for affordable housing. Director of Housing and Community Development Glenn Crippen told commissioners the county is eligible to apply for the federal grant. It can be used for rehabilitation projects to create housing for lower income residents.
The county authorized the submission of the grant application, which is the authorizing legislation to submit the grant application. And they also certified that the administration and fair housing activities under the grant will be exempt from an environmental review.
Crippen has to write and submit the grant application to the state of Ohio by May 4th. Wireless providers might have more difficulty placing antennas on city buildings. A new bill is headed to the governor's desk that would allow communities to have more control over where wireless companies place antennas. The bill follows lawsuits from last year when cities said they were unable to properly regulate those antennas. The bill would also regulate construction of new signal towers. Governor John Kasich is also aiming to improve Ohio's background check system. Governor Kasich signed an executive order yesterday to study and improve how well local officials report information that could stop someone from buying a gun. The governor tweeted that he is taking this action to keep guns out of the hands of bad people. A similar study in 2015 said changes were needed at the local level to report better background check information. This order comes along with a package of gun control efforts being pushed by Governor Kasich through the state legislature.
Ohio Supreme Court today will hear more arguments on the dispute over traffic cameras. The issue is a law reducing funding for cities that operate the cameras. Uses for these cameras include catching speeders and drivers that run red lights. Cities argue the cameras increase traffic safety and allow police to focus on other crimes. Opponents say the cameras are not only money makers for the cities, but violate drivers' rights. Ohio's Attorney General says a ruling against a law driving public money from Planned Parenthood will be appealed. The state claims it's not required to use funding to support abortion providers. Planned Parenthood says that it violates constitutional rights by denying it public funds in retaliation for providing abortion services. At risk is nearly $1.5 million, and its organization gets through Ohio's health department. An Ohio University student was arrested in a residence hall for possession of drugs. 20-year-old Kent Ring intended to sell these drugs during fest season before he was arrested in Bromley Hall Saturday morning. The drugs found in possession include 100 doses of suspected LSD, psychoactive mushrooms, Adderall, and $680. Ring was booked into Southeastern Ohio's regional jail, and the sheriff expects additional charges to be filed against Ring. A Gloucester man has been granted parole after being sent to prison in 1991 for murder. 63-year-old David Lousy was originally sentenced 15 years to life after his conviction. This will be Lousy's fourth shot at parole after being denied twice and breaking his terms of parole in 2012. Lousy will be paroled on or after June 19th.
The Athens community will have a chance to meet the candidates for Ohio University's first ever Vice President for Diversity and Inclusion. The three finalists will hold open forums on campus this week at the Multicultural Center. Carmen Suarez, who served as the Chief Diversity Officer at the University of Idaho, will hold her forum tomorrow. Kathleen Roberts, who serves as Northern Kentucky's Title IX Coordinator, will hold her forum Thursday, and Gigi Sekuban, the current Director for Inclusion at the University of Illinois, will hold his forum on Friday. Fashion is more than fabric for an organization visiting Ohio University today. Unchained is a fashion show using couture pieces to bring awareness to human trafficking. Newswatch and news reporter Micah Upshaw is live at the Walter Rotunda to tell us how this organization is using fashion to save lives. Micah?
Thank you, Lucas. Yeah, right behind me are the models and hair and makeup getting ready for the show tonight. Unchained is a traveling fashion show that visits campuses throughout the Midwest to bring awareness to the horrors of human trafficking. Tonight, Ohio University students will model Unchained fashions and will tell the story of human trafficking right here in Ohio.
The rehearsal was full of positivity last night for the Unchained fashion show. This runway show will be different from most fashion shows, as this one will take the audience on a journey of a human trafficking victim. Ohio is particularly vulnerable to human trafficking, with both large urban centers and rural counties, and 5 major highways allowing easy access to other states and Canada. That's what Unchained co-founder Stephanie Catani had in mind when she created the show.
Learning about the plight that women have, specifically targeted violence against them sexually across the world. So I was in West Africa and learning about this from there, and also in the US. And so once I kind of put all the pieces together, fashion became the vehicle to tell such a difficult story, because we need safe ways to look at really difficult things if we're going to change an issue.
Kitani's trip to Africa, her background in fashion, and her passion for human activism led her to designer Korto Momolu, a runner-up on Season 5 of Project Runway. Together, they came up with a concept for 30 couture pieces, each representing different stages of the human trafficking cycle. It starts with innocence, then moves to more dramatic, darker pieces representing violence, then ends with bright dresses representing restoration.
My piece has 2 chain cuffs on the dress, and I think it's to symbolize, being literally chained. So I'm assuming that's like during the part when people are in the human trafficking cycle itself. So in the very middle of it, being trafficked.
This is the finale dress. It represents beauty and self-worth for victims recovering from the effects of human trafficking.
Kitani has traveled to campuses throughout the Midwest to tell the story of those victimized by these crimes.
The show will begin tonight at 7 p.m. here in the Walter Rotunda. It's free, but the organization will be taking donations. 100% of the proceeds go to Ohio Human Trafficking Help Centers. Watch at noon. I'm Micah Upshaw.
Thanks, Micah. To hear more from about the show's organizers, check out WUB.org, and also about the road to recovery for a trafficking victim. A car crash in Cincinnati set off a chain reaction that sent more than 10 children to the hospital.
And in Toronto, a bus crash killed 10 people. Now investigations have begun to see what the motive was.
Hello.
Hi, I'm from Blue Hood Stone Barns. We brought a meal for you and I'm here to serve it to you.
Okay, great. Come in.
Zucchini carbonara, made from zucchini that was harvested earlier this morning.
Again?
Hey, Dan Barber.
You have room for a little bit more?
Come on in.
Brochettes with sausage. So when we made that zucchini carbonara, you know, they're the end pieces of the zucchini and then the cores that we cut away, not to mention zucchini flour. Usually those get thrown out. We use them to create an entire second dish. Does that,
Again?
I'm here to bring you your third course. It's the vines from your zucchini.
We'll have a little zucchini stem pasta. A different experience of zucchini. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
This is delicious.
What do you think we can make out of this? 40% of food in America is never eaten. Cook it, store it, share it. Visit SaveTheFood.com.
You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of, Mom, it's me, your daughter. Remember? My strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
At least 12 children have been hospitalized after a school bus crash in a multi-vehicle accident in Cincinnati. Police say 2 toddlers were hospitalized in serious condition after the car they were riding in was struck by another car. Police say the car the children were in then struck the school bus, causing it to spin into another car. Police blame excessive speed and say charges are pending against the passing driver.
Officials say the van that plowed into a crowd on a Toronto sidewalk yesterday definitely looked deliberate. 10 people were killed and 15 were injured when the van jumped the sidewalk and continued on for a mile. The 25-year-old suspect was captured a few blocks away. Police Chief Mark Saunders says police are working with the numbers of agencies to find out the motive of the suspect.
We are looking very strongly to what the exact motive or motivation was for this particular incident to take place, and at the end of the day we will have a fulsome answer and we'll have a fulsome account as to what the conclusion of this is.
Authorities say the suspect lives in a Toronto suburb and had not been known to the police previously. A gunman accused of killing 4 people at a Nashville area Waffle House was arrested yesterday. Travis Ranking was booked into Metro Jail Monday night on 4 counts of criminal homicide. The shooting raised questions about Ranking's previous law enforcement encounters. There was also a question about whether his father should be charged for giving him guns when he was barred from possessing them.
Secretary of State nominee Mike Pompeo advanced out of committee when one Republican senator changed his mind. Republican Senator Rand Paul voted in favor of Pompeo after a call from President Trump. The committee ended up voting 10-9 in Pompeo's favor, with one Democratic senator voting present instead of no. Had Paul voted no, Pompeo would have been the first Secretary of State nominee to not get approval from the Foreign Relations Committee.
Now and then we should find our way towards each other in ways like this, in moments like this.
There is probably no one in the United States that knows more about what's happening around the world today than Mike Pompeo.
Up next for Pompeo is a vote in the full Senate later this week. President Trump welcomes French President Emmanuel Macron today to discuss several controversial foreign policy issues. It's the first official state visit for Mr. Trump On the agenda, the Iranian nuclear deal, North Korea, the Syrian civil war, and climate change. Macron is one of the few European leaders who has a good relationship with the White House. While it may be rainy for the next few days, it will soon be clearing up. We'll tell you when with the full forecast.
And in sports, when your sports career is over, it is hard to stay in shape. See how some former high school athletes stay in shape.
Daisy is 6 years old, and she is my very best friend. I couldn't live alone without her. I spend a lot of time in my backyard. I feed the birds and the bees. I love my flowers. The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. I love them. They're my savior. And I look forward to the volunteers because they've all become my friends. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
Love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Flash flooding has been more than just an Ohio issue. 2 drivers in Florida had to be rescued after they were stuck on a road that had flooded. Neither of the drivers were injured by the flooding or during the rescue. This is the second time in 2 weeks this specific road in Orange County, Florida, has been flooded.
Well, we might be getting some rain over the next few days here in Ohio, but at least it's nothing like it was in Florida.
Yeah, and Caitlin Coolidge is over at the Weather Center to tell us whether our community is going to be seeing some nice weather as we move into the month of May.
Yes, that's right, Lucas. So the April showers are upon us now in southeast Ohio, but I'll show you later on in my forecast that May is approaching and it's looking pretty good. But for right now, it is 51 degrees in Athens right now. It is going to be on and off rain all day today. Winds 9 miles per hour. And then looking on now to our regional right now, it's pretty much all across the board in the 50s, except for in Ripley, you got almost 60 degrees, 55 degrees right now, but it's going to be a rainy one all throughout the southeast Ohio region today. And looking at our almanac. So today our high is 55, low of 49, and that's kind of around where we should be. We're getting back up there. It's a gradual increase that we're going through right now. Our records though, back in 1985, 88 degrees, and in 1982, 25. Okay, so this is our kind of like a look at our whole country right now. And as you can see, there's this low pressure system that's coming in from the south, and it's making its way up the northeast coast. And that's why we're having this rain today and a little bit tomorrow. And as you can see, it's pretty much making its way all throughout the whole entire state of Ohio. So it's not just us down here in the southeast region. Okay, so today's highs. Yeah, we are going to get in the 50s, which is good. Ripley, you're almost going to hit 60 degrees. Not so bad, so at least it's not rainy, and cold. At least we have that going for us today. And then the lows throughout the region today, not too bad. We're not even going to get too much farther down below 49 for most of the region. Newark and Cambridge, you are going to hit around 48, but we're not going to get into that freezing zone, which is really good for all those veggies that you might be growing in your gardens or farms down here. Okay, so the hour-by-hour chance of rain, we do have a chance of rain later tonight around 8 o'clock, so bring your umbrellas if you are going out for anything this evening. And then midnight tonight, there's a chance of rain, so that ground tomorrow morning is going to be a little saturated. Just take warning. And then 6 o'clock, 50 degrees, not too bad, mostly cloudy, and we have a lower % chance of rain, which is pretty good going into the next day. Alrighty, and then looking at our 7-day forecast. Now, like I said, it is going to gradually increase throughout the week. This weekend, we are going to see it hit the 60s, Saturday and Sunday. And then look at this, Monday, 71 degrees and sunny. And that's almost May 1st, so I can promise you right now that May is looking like it could be a good month for us down here in Southeast Ohio. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I think we're all pretty much ready for summer.
Yes, we deserve it.
Well, over 13,000 women are estimated to be diagnosed with cervical cancer this year. Ohio University will be hosting a free clinic for cervical cancer testing.
Find out more about this event and others on our community calendar.
Well, we all know it's hard to stay in shape, so what do high school students do after they finish their athletic careers?
Well, let's head over to Maddie Young with sports and see what she has to say about that.
While many students are talented, not all high school athletes have the opportunity to continue playing college-level athletics. Newswatch at Noon reporter Catherine Morey tells us what alternatives former high school athletes turn to in order to remain physically active in college.
Living a healthy life is important to many college students, but for former high school athletes, staying active in college is a necessary lifestyle. Former athletes find unique ways to train at the same level high school sports require, but on their own schedule. Ohio University senior Ghazi Calhoun originally went to play football at the University of Rochester, but came to OU on an engineering scholarship. He says working out in college is important for his overall well-being.
Since academics are so rigorous and stressful, one thing I like to do or have as an outlet is I like to come play basketball. I like to work out. It's a really good stress reliever, especially basketball, releases endorphins.
Other former athletes make sure to find time to hit the gym around their classes.
In high school, it's a little bit different because I played sports obviously every single day, worked out every morning, but that's because it was on schedule. Now that I'm in college, I still do the same thing because I like being active, but it's not really required, so I can take days off. I don't have to do it as often.
Ping Recreational Center is one of the most popular places to exercise on campus. Ping offers workout rooms and equipment, full-size basketball courts, an indoor track, and a rock climbing wall.
Having Ping is amazing because I can really do whatever workout I want, and then it's also nice being around such a diverse group of students and just lots of different people, so no matter what time you come in, I always feel motivated because I see other people also putting in work.
Gassi says he enjoys playing against students with different skill levels, which keeps the game interesting. Reporting for Newswatch at Noon, I'm Catherine Morey.
To learn more about the transition from organized high school sports to the freedom of pickup games, visit our website at woub.org. Ohio University basketball signed incoming junior Antonio Cowart Jr. yesterday. Cowart played guard with Southwest Mississippi Community College, but Ohio University struck his eye. He was the second team with 14 points and 6 rebounds per game. Cowart received 17 Division I scholarship offers and was named to the Junior College All-Region 23 team. He tweeted, "I'm thankful for all the schools that have recruited me. I'm very appreciative." You know who doesn't need extra recruits? The Ohio softball team, who wraps up non-conference play this week when they take on Marshall tonight. Ohio's coming off a 2-1 weekend at Miami, saying goodbye to their 10-game winning streak, but the Bobcats are still at the top of the MAC. Senior Daniel Stein is ranked second in pitching and first in strikeouts. Ohio last met Marshall last April, where Marshall defeated the Bobcats 3-2. So the Bobcats are ready for revenge. The first pitch is set for 5. Swinging over to Ohio baseball, they travel to play in-state rivals, the Dayton Flyers, today. The Bobcats are 2-4 in midweek matchups, losing to Marshall last week. Ohio ranks as one of the MAC's top hitting teams. Rudy Rowe is one of the 7 Ohio players with at least 33 hits this year. Rowe's bat was sizzling last weekend, hitting a team best and collecting a team-high 2 home runs. After their game in Dayton, the Bobcats will visit Miami this weekend. The Reds have a win, finally. The Reds are off to their worst start in team history, but rallied to a 10-4 win under interim manager Jim Riggleman. Nick Markakis started the scoring with a home run early. After 4 innings, the Braves got out to a 2-0 lead. But go to the 6th, bases loaded and no outs, Jesse Winker lined an RBI to left field to give the Reds their first lead in exactly a week. The runs didn't stop. Scooter Gennett flared a 2-run single to left field to open a 5-run lead. The Reds series against the Braves continues tonight. The Reds offense can only go up from here. While the Reds were ending their losing skid, the Cleveland Indians were building on their winning streak. Yonder Alonso in the second inning hits a 421-foot bomb to dead center. In the bottom half of the second, a single to right field by Baltimore's Chance Sisco scored 1 run. 9th inning, Cody Allen got the save, striking out the side without allowing a base runner in a clean 9th inning to close out Cleveland's 2-1 victory. Up next, the Indians take on the Chicago Cubs, the first meeting of the teams since Cleveland lost the 2016 World Series. Last night, an icy chill came over Blue Jacket fans as their season came to a close. Pick up the action in the second period, the Jackets trail by 1, and Nick Foligno slaps that in the game, but then Alex Ovechkin took over. He smacks a rebound on his backhand, his backhand, and he finds the back of the net. Again, he whips a one-timer off the post. Washington leads 3-1 at the end of the second period. Third period now, Foligno scores what would be the Jackets' last goal of the season. After losing the first 2, the Capitals win 4 straight to win the series. The Jacket season comes to an end thanks to the Capitals' 6-3 in Game 6. That's it, all I have for sports. I'm going to throw it back to Anna and Lucas.
Thanks, Maddie. Recognizing excellence and defeating stereotypes. That's the goal for Omega Psi Phi Fraternity for their annual Black Men of Excellence Awards ceremony. The fraternity recognizes excellence in athletics, campus involvement, and performing arts. The message is that despite all the negative stories about Black men, the majority have hopes and dreams that put them onto a path of success. Keynote speaker Percy Miller, better known as hip-hop artist Master P, talked about his path to success. And that's all we have for Newswatch today. Please tune in tonight at 6:30 for more news coverage.
And tune in to Newswatch at noon tomorrow to see how the Alexander tax levy will impact Albany residents.